Good morning, Freedom Team. I hope you guys are all doing wonderful, coming off a great weekend. We are now in February. The year is underway. Boy, I hope you are picking up momentum because spring is around the corner, and I truly feel like it's going to just explode come about the next 60, 90 days. So remember, seeds you're planting today are going to sprout here in the next 60, 90 days. So everybody stay focused. I think we're going to have a huge spring. So let's kick this thing off. Maria, anybody who's got their speaker on, please turn speaker off if you're not chatting right now. Let's kick off. Miss GayLynn Martin is our guest today. Here's her intro or her bio. I began my real estate career at the end of 2020, but helping people make smart decisions has been the common thread of my entire professional life. Before real estate, I spent 18 years as a controller for a large church, stewarding finances with care, integrity, and clarity. Prior to that, I worked in Colorado as the accounting and sales manager for a medical equipment company, bridging the gap between numbers and people long before I ever understood finances deeply. I communicate clearly and I help people feel confident rather than overwhelmed. Real estate also runs in my blood. My dad served 22 years in the military, then retired and became a realtor in Southern California. Within 5 years, he took over the brokerage he worked at. Watching his journey taught me leadership, discipline, and service. While I loved the business, I knew early on that running a brokerage and handling all the accounting side was not my calling. Ironically, that was the part I already knew too well. What I loved most was helping people navigate big decisions with confidence. After joining eXp Realty, something unexpected happened. Just 2 months in, my sponsor asked me to partner with her to start Video Script School for real estate agents. We launched it at the end of February, nearly 3 years ago, and it has been growing strong ever since. We met through the Krista Mashore Mastery Program, where learning, collaboration, and showing up fully are core values. Krista is also a sponsor's sponsor, making this truly a relationship built on mentorship and alignment. When I first stepped into agent attraction, I was fairly inexperienced. What I lacked in experience, I made up for in consistency, care, and follow-up. We hosted our own eXp Explained sessions on Zoom about every 2 months with Krista Mashore and Jesse Zagorski, creating a space where agents could ask real questions and feel genuinely supported. One of my favorite stories from that first year says everything about how I operate. An agent attended our eXp Explained in March. I stayed in touch, no pressure, just real follow-up and real care. Months later, she asked if she could attend eXpCon with me in Las Vegas. I was not even planning to go, but when she showed interest, I said absolutely. She ended up joining eXp that very week from her hotel room without me even knowing until the next day. That moment perfectly captures what I believe. Growth comes from relationships, success comes from follow-up, and impact comes from meeting people where they are and serving what they actually need. Whether I am helping a client buy or sell a home or supporting an agent in building their business, my approach is the same. Lead with heart, be clear, be consistent, and always put people first. Great intro, Miss GayLynn. First of all, appreciate again you coming on. We're so grateful and thankful. And I know you had sent over, I know you have 16 people on the front line. What was the total organization again? Was it?
53 with my 54th coming on today.
All
She already
right.
she already transferred her license. We're just waiting for California to accept it.
That is fantastic. So congratulations on that. So guys, she is really getting this thing rolling. We have people come on from huge organizations down to, 20, 30, 50, 100, 500, and then you got people with 10,000. I want everybody to know, once you get this ball rolling and you bring over, when you hit, and you know this, Galen, when you get to about 100, that's when generally you'll have one, two, or three that'll start to step up and do kind of what you're doing, and the leverage truly begins. And that's when that passive income's like, oh my gosh, is this really? I hear people say all the time, even when they get that first one for three, four, $500, but they didn't do anything for it, they're like, okay, wait a second, this could be exciting. I see where this is going. So congrats on getting this ball rolling for you. So why don't we start off? Anything else? That was an awesome intro. Anything else you'd like for us to know about you kind of personally before we jump into the business side?
I didn't say I have a dog, Lexi, and she is a constant companion. She's right here at my feet. I don't have much room for my legs, but because she's a golden retriever.
Oh,
But and my mom passed away about a year ago. And
No.
that one of the things that I was able to do, she lived with me and then she did transition to assisted living. And because of, real estate was a little bit harder to do. I did close some deals, but I really focused on agent attraction because it was calls that I could make. I could excuse myself, talk to somebody in the hallway, come back and, still be with my mom a lot. And it was just wonderful and a blessing to be with her to the end. And Rev Share did help, bridge some of that gap so that I had
Yeah,
income coming in.
that is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. And, I am a follower of Christ, and I think that permeates everything, every decision that I make. And it's just really important to me. And the other thing I wanted to tell you, that agent that I introduced, that I talked about, that came on at EXPCon, her name
Yeah.
is Dill Ward, and she is attracting agents. She is a top producer. She's an icon. She just started a team over the last year, and she is hosting the Portland Rally.
Wow. And that was your very first agent?
No, she was one of the ones that came the very first year.
Okay. Okay. Well,
And
congrats.
I have four people who've attracted other people, or, yeah, so it's not just me
Yeah.
to get
And so
those
that's already
54.
happened. You got three or four out of that 50 now that are starting to attract. And that's where that leverage kicks in. I got to giggle for a minute. My daughter's name is Lexi. So to have a dog,
Uh,
Lexi, is just too funny. So very, very cool. And we're looking at, I lost my dog about 5 months ago, had to put him down, about 13 and a half years old. We're looking at maybe a golden doodle. So anyway, that you just said, yeah. So anyway,
just just pray that you get more of the golden than the poodle, because the poodles are a little psycho.
yeah, we're doing it because I don't want it to shed. I had a
I
lab
know.
growing up. Oh my gosh, the whole house is full of hair. But other than that, all right, let's jump into a little business right here. So you've been on board again. How long have you, I guess, been on board? When did you join?
I joined EXP 3 years ago.
It's been 3 years ago. And when you first joined, how about we'll talk about how did you get approached and what was the main reason you moved over?
So in the Krista Mashore organization, we have a program called Skin in the Game. And one of the things that people who host the Skin in the Game are EXP agents, and it gives you the opportunity to get to know them. And so one of them I had been talking to, and ironically, we were supposed to meet the prior year at EXPCon. We were supposed to meet up for lunch. And I was already on a journey, like really heavily concerned, considering it. I don't know that she knew that, but and she was
Yeah.
going to meet me for lunch. And this particular person ended up not ghosting me, but she said, "Hey, I got this. I want to do this luxury thing at EXP." So she canceled the lunch, and I was like, "Okay, I see. This is not going to work for me. Like somebody that canceled the last minute." And I planned my whole day around it. And so then I was kind of seeking it, and Alicia and I were friends, and I kind of got the hint that she might be joining because she had gone to EXP, whatever it was, in Texas a few months before. And I just was like, this is kind of odd. Why would she do that? So I texted her. She called me back like within 30 minutes, and she said, "You can't tell anybody I am joining EXP." She was with Remax, but it's a top secret. And yeah, I said, we talked about it, and I said, "Well, if you join, I want to join with you." And so we joined together.
Very cool. Okay. And so you come on board. Did attraction start to happen immediately, or how did that transpire?
I did have an agent who heard that I was coming, and she heard who my sponsor might be, and so she wanted to come. And so I did join. She joined before me, like a couple weeks before me. And then I had another agent, maybe January, February, approached me, and she saw that I had a picture with Krista Mashore, and she's like, "Do you know her?" And we started talking, and she wanted to join with me too. So those were kind of like natural attractions without much conversation. And
Yep.
she wasn't doing a ton of production, but every year she's producing a little bit more. She's just growing a
Yeah.
little bit more. She hasn't capped yet, but she almost capped this year. So that was cool. And then we just started doing the script school. And then after we had run the script school for a few months, anybody that wanted to come and listen to the EXP explained, they would come on, and we keep a list. And I mean, we have like 800 people, and probably 450 of them are non-EXP agents. And so
Wow.
we invite them, and I I bought Constant Contact because I want to develop that for my
Mhm.
attraction, but I haven't spent the time. I've got a YouTube channel I started this year, and I just, have a lot of irons in the fire, a lot of listings. I think everybody probably is getting a lot of listings, and this spring it's just like, okay, people are tired of waiting. They're moving,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. So what does a day look like for you or a week in regards to production attraction? Do you set aside time specifically for attraction? Or you let it happen naturally, inviting to the events, or what is that going to look like?
So initially, it was really the EXP explained, and then the follow up, and then and Jesse was really good at the beginning. Like we had a couple of people that came on. One of them, and one was a broker with a very small team, a small group of people, and then Dill was another one. Well, I invited her to, an EXP explain. So she came to one live. We did at an event, and then she came to one, and she was just searching out. And so yeah, it was just that rhythm of having those EXP explains. And Jesse Zagorski, he would identify. He'd say, "Is anyone on here who's a broker or team leader?" And if they raise their hands, he was like, make sure you follow up immediately with these people. So
Yeah.
that's what has helped my organization, because Shelby joined, she iconed this last year, and she was a broker, and she brought a small team, like 3 over, and she still has a couple more coming. And then Anna and Gregory was the broker, and he was worn out. It was a low fee brokerage, and they really saw the light of doing attraction. But they had a slow start, but they're now starting to attract people. And I mean, they hated to give up their commission, and but Anna really saw the light, and she's been going after it. And he's relieved of all those duties of being the broker.
Gotcha. So let me ask right now, we always have a mix of people on here, right? We've got people who have some, small groups, somebody to have a larger group, but then some who really haven't started, but they're starting to attend this. What do you do when you have an agent that's in your group? Do you do anything to try to motivate, inspire, to potentially get them into attraction? Or you just kind of let it happen naturally if it's going to happen? Or what might you do to inspire agents in your group?
So Jesse Zagorski has a weekly call like this, and it's on Thursdays at noon. And I just encourage people to get on that and let him teach them how to do the agent attraction. And I'm always available. So last week I had an agent who said, I have a new team member I want to join, and I'm having trouble. And she's like, can you connect me? Who can I get, to do the join app? Well, Jesse has Autumn. So I connected them, gave her the schedule. I said, she has three openings tomorrow. Make sure you book right now. And she did. So, it's just doing the right connections. And I think there are so many resources at EXP. I don't
Mhm.
know if you guys have ever heard of No Busters, the No Buster hotline. So if you get a no, you call the No Busters hotline. If you think you don't know about the No Busters hotline,
No. No. So
text me.
where are you going to pull that up? Is that a website or somewhere
It's a phone
within
number. I'll just text me and I'll get that to you.
No
But
Buster? Okay.
yeah, but yeah, it's a No Buster hotline, and this also, I think, in you can connect through EXP World. But it's like, if you get a hard no on something that is like something that should be considered. Like I had this
Mhm.
agent, the one that just called me because she has another agent joining her team. She wanted to join it. She wanted to be a team. She had only 5 million in production, and it was 6 million was required. And she got a no, and she's like, this is the deal. I live in Oklahoma. $5 million is a lot of production.
Yeah.
And so we talked to them. They said, okay, they got an exception approved. And,
Yeah.
within a day or so, had formed the team. And she said, she came from KW. She said, Keller Williams would have let us form a team. And, of course, it's like, even regardless of what she said, I was like, I'm all on their team. I'm going to help them solve the problem, whatever they want. And she only really calls me with problems. I try to reach out some, but that way people always know I'm available. And anytime somebody engages with me, whether it's by text or phone, I follow up with all my agents, no matter what the line is. And I try to let them know I'm available. So
And I don't think I asked you, so I know you joined 3 years ago. How long have you been in real estate?
Just 5 years.
Okay, so you're only in for two, and then you came on board here. So let me ask you this, because I know you're starting to get a few $1,000s probably a month in
Yeah.
passive, and being in real estate for 5 years, is your outlook kind of a silly question, but is your outlook different? Kind of thinking, man, okay, if this has all happened, where could I be in the next 3, 4, 5 years? Do you think about it? Have you set a goal? Is there a number you're going after, or what might that be?
Well, initially, when I joined, Alicia, my sponsor, and I had said, we want to get 100. And so 100 was our goal. And so that was one of the things that really attracted Dill, who is the one that came to EXPCon and joined. That inspired her. She was like, "Oh, you have a vision." I was a much slower production agent than she was. I was new, but I had this passion. And that's what, she was like, you don't see limits the way other people see limits. So that was what attracted her. And, we just were going after the 100. And now, of course, I'm like at 54, I'm like looking at the 200 or the 250. And I've said that
Mhm.
once I hit 100, that's when I am going to start probably offloading the real estate and
Yeah,
just really concentrate more on that and not completely stop doing real estate because it's very lucrative, but it
yeah,
does, like, I've had a lot higher production this last. I mean, I capped plus a few last year, and I don't want an icon, but it's a lot. It's
yeah,
busy. It's busy
exactly.
when
Yeah,
you're, yeah. And I had a buyer that, man, we had they contacted me, got approved within 5 days with a loan. We started looking. 5 days later, they were under contract. I mean, we were looked at a lot of houses, and it was a fast move. Like, it was
yeah,
like I had never like seen anybody move that fast
yeah,
and
yeah.
find the house. They were just ready. So,
Yeah. Have you ever heard Brent Gove say when someone will ask him, because they're just mesmerized by him having 20,000 people and making over 1 million a month? But when the people ask him, so I really want to start doing attraction this year, what do you recommend? And he'll always say, he'll ask them, well, tell me about your production last year. What'd you do? And let's just say they said I did 15 deals and did 5 million. He'll go, okay, I'll tell you in 26, you might want to go down to about 12 or 13 deals, right? And do maybe 3.5, 4 million. He starts saying you have to give somewhere, exactly like you're saying. You're going to really do it when you get to 100. But we always tell people in our group, if they're first starting, find 15 minutes a day to do some kind of reach out, whether it's social media, likes, posts, whatever, just trying to connect with agents and try to move things forward. And it just gradually you start to change that balance before you know it. You may look up in 1, 2, 3 years and you're 50-50, and eventually you're 60-70%, and you're buying your life back, right? It is amazing. Kelly, that's on here, was the first one with you. Kelly hit 100 about 3 months ago, maybe. And I think she's up to about 125, 130. So she just starting to kind of, there you go, starting to see things happen. And I know that is exciting. I know when I first hit 100, I'm like, oh my gosh. So congrats, it's coming. You'll probably have it, I'm sure, before the end of the year. Um,
and
so
I
let me
do,
take it.
we do have our weekly video script school. And so that is kind of how we're pouring into people and how they're
Yep.
seeing us. And that's what gives us momentum to invite them to the EXP Explains. And ironically, the one that's coming on today, she called to give me a referral.
Mm,
And when we were talking, we just started talking. We talked about. I just brought up EXP, and she said, I was with EXP, and I just had a rough transition here, and I moved from the East Coast to California, and I just couldn't get connected. Well, they had a little bit of a shift with the broker right when she was coming on, and she was new, and she really needed probably a mentor or something in California. I mean, she wasn't new to
mhm.
real estate, but she was new to California. And so she went with another brokerage, and she's like, yeah, this is like January. She said, I paid them $20,000 this month. She had paid her brokerage in 1 month. She would have capped. And so we talked about it, and she came on, and we started talking. And she said, I was also talking to GayLynn. Well, GayLynn is Krista's daughter. And I said, well, you know what? I didn't know you were talking to her. And we had both talked. She had talked to both of us the same week. And I said, we have this thing called co-sponsorship.
Mhm.
And so I said, you could get GayLynn and Alicia and I. Um, if you join with us, and we can
Yeah.
just tag team it. So I said, let me talk to Jane. Let me make sure she's okay with it. And so I talked to her, and she goes, yeah. And Jalen's just started. She has one other recruit. And so she's like, yeah, I'll do it. And, GayLynn and I are friends. It's Krista's daughter, but she and I are friends. And so it worked out that this co-sponsorship worked, and nobody gets hurt that way. And she
Yeah.
gets, if who I think she does, if I'm trying to think of her name, if Allison starts recruiting, she'll get the benefit. And GayLynn is just really starting her real estate career, so she's just learning the recruiting side, the agent attraction side. So it's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah. The co-sponsoring is a game changer, especially if you want to attract anywhere in the country or maybe a city or something you're familiar with, so you can have that kind of connection. But yeah,
Yep.
co-sponsoring is a game changer. So you've been here 3 years. If you had to start over from the day you joined, would you do anything different when you first got started?
I don't know that I would, because I think I gained confidence through the doing. It's not I didn't gain confidence in agent attraction by sitting back and watching other people do it and attending trainings. I just got into action, and I did whatever Jesse said, whatever anybody said. I just
Mhm.
started following up. It really is in the follow up. You can't just give up on somebody. They come to one EXP explain, it's not for them. I
Yeah.
have a broker here in town, and he's got a very small brokerage, and he's like, he was like, it's a MLM and blah blah blah, and I'm ignoring his little comments and just waiting for him to get tired of being the broker. And he's a friend, so waiting for
Yeah.
him to be tired of that. And he's in his 50s, so he's getting there to where he probably should be thinking about some other offload of real estate. I mean, he's pretty, I mean, he does quite a bit of production himself, and that's really, I think, he doesn't want to pay somebody else fees. But if he could get the picture of, not only do you get paid back, because I earned, way more than I paid back. I earned in rev share, and that's what the cool thing is.
And
So
well, and if he has a small brokerage, by the time he adds his team in, would he be an icon agent where he wouldn't be paying anything?
could be,
Yeah.
could be.
Yeah. Very, very cool. Let's go about I'm thinking of just personal habits and so forth, your daily, kind of going back to what you do other than inviting to that event that you guys have. And how often do you do the event you were referring to?
Well, Alicia is a mega icon agent. She has a team of 20 people. And she really focuses on that. So she does it whenever I organize one. She'll get on board. So I just got busy with production. And so that's kind of been my focus. But we did one in October. No, I have one more. I think we did the last one in December. And I have one agent I need to follow up on. And she's not a super high producing agent, but you never know. If she said, actually she's at a brokerage that is a low fee, and she said, yeah, but 0% of zero is still zero. So
You're exactly right, no doubt. What was I just thinking, question wise? When you do a transaction with another agent, do you try to initialize something there in the midst or at the end of that transaction, or do you do anything with that?
I want to be way better about that. I've had lists, I haven't really, like, if it's with the other agent. I actually became friends with an agent last January. No, I guess it was last March. We closed a deal, and she was actually with EXP, and we've kind of become friends, and she's here in town. And Nicole has been a realtor for a long time, and she wants to produce, and she's in Tina Call's organization, but she and I just became friends. We hit it off. She reached out to me and said, you've been such a great agent to work with. I want to do a review for you. Would you do one for me? And so, I did that, and it was a great, great thing, because the agent that, I got a review from her, and I got a review from the seller. He was like glowing review. So that worked out really well.
Is your because I can hear, at least it sounds and feels like there's an excitement about you. You've got this energy and stuff. Is that really because you're starting to sort of see, oh my gosh, as I look out over the next several years, what passive income rev share could do for your life? Does it give you a whole different kind of energy and a way to approach each day, knowing that you kind of have a potential exit plan because you're just getting started with this?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's so much fun. I love new stuff. And so, I think this is the first year where I really have seen a need for an assistant. So I have a personal assistant just for a few hours a week who's going to come and help me. And
Mhm.
I've got a VA that I have through Alicia. I have access to her. I just need to really figure out how I'm going to utilize her, because I don't want to like hire her for 10 hours a week and not have enough.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it excites me. I do love the new shiny stuff, but I also, every single agent is different, and what is going to attract them is going to be different.
Hmm.
Also, every transaction is different. I like that. Accounting's a little bit boring. I actually do kind of love to do a little bit of accounting, but just because it engages the brain differently, and I don't want to lose it. I mean, I don't,
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
all the years, and you kind of do lose something if you don't use it. But yeah, I'm kind of a happy person. I think the more you do this, the more confident you get. It's not just about, like I said, learning. It's not, knowledge is nothing until you apply it, and start doing the thing. And I think people get really worried. Like, I was a new agent and I attracted Dill, who was super experienced. And it was just because I was excited about my goals
Hmm.
and excited about real estate. And that's what enticed her. It wasn't because she thought, oh, GayLynn's going to teach me how to do real estate. No, it was GayLynn's got passion. She's going to figure these things out and she's going to help me. And that was what, attracted her.
Yeah. 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 Is there anything you think that agents misunderstand about revenue share?
It's not going to be completely passive. You've got to engage. People think of it as passive income, but it's consistent income, and it's something that you really do want to support the agents in your organization, because you don't want them to feel like, oh, I'm just after the money that you're going to give me. You want them to
Hmm.
feel supported. You want to be their person. I mean, I'm sure you've got a big organization and it's different for you, Sean, but um, you can't touch 17,000 people, right? And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you've got to touch the people that reach out to you, and you make sure you're available. And I think that's what the thing is not making it passive income and continuing to support, because people will get the feeling if you're after their money,
Yeah.
just like a
Yeah.
seller is going to get the feeling if you're after the commission. You
Yeah.
want them to really know that you care.
Totally agree. What might you say to agents who are maybe on here today or might listen to this recording that are just maybe afraid or timid to get things started in RevShare? What might you say to someone like that if they were in your group?
I think just become a friend to the people that you want to attract. Make a list. I'd say, you make a list of 10 to start, and be thinking of making that list to 50 or 100. And I think, you want to have the people that you have a relationship with already are going to be the first people. And if you come into it with like, I am so excited about EXP, I can't believe how collaborative it is. And, like you could even say, this girl who is not even in our organization, she came on this thing and talked to us about it. And it's because we're all about collaboration. We're not about just building this thing that you see that other brokerages where it's my deal. I'm gonna keep it for
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah, that is the number one thing when you say collaboration. When I hear the big agent or the big team or the big independent broker who came over, and I'm on some of those Zooms like that, that is the number one thing they talk about. I've had people say, I've been in real estate for 15 years. In the first 2 weeks being here, all the other big agents that reached out to them and said, man, I'm here to help you in any way I can, they're blown away by collaboration throughout the whole country. That is one of the big things that attracts these mega agents. So yeah, you're exactly dead on. Let's open this up, guys. I've questioned out myself right now. Those of you that are on here, feel free to ask any kind of question to GayLynn. I look at her with 50 something agents. It's incredible what you've already created. But for those, again, who may have none or three or five, anything you might want to ask GayLynn right now that could kind of help you in your situation?
I
Anybody
have a
else?
question.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, Maria.
So Galen, what's the first thing that you say when you approach an agent? I mean, you don't say, hey, come on over to AXP, but how do you start the conversation?
Hello. And then if they hello back, then you say, you just start connecting with them. You have to have a connection with them, and it's not all about getting to that end. And you can say, hey, it's been a while. Like if it's somebody you haven't talked to in a little bit, but you have a relationship with them, say, hey, it's been a while. I just wanted to have a personal reason for calling you. Or if you're texting, I have a personal reason for calling you. And I also have a business reason. And that's how you can kind of start the conversation. And so let's start with the personal. How are things going? And you make it about them. It's all about them. It's easy to talk about yourself. It's really easy. You could probably, if you wanted to interview me and you asked me a few questions, I could talk for an hour. That's how everybody is. Everybody wants to talk about themselves. They're excited that somebody's interested in them. And you can ask the questions just as you're going along. After they, kind of say how their personal is and just say, I joined, whatever, however you're going to say it. I joined EXP. It's such a collaboration. And how's real estate going for you? You can start with those questions. How's it going for you? And if they say, man, it's great, or yeah, I've struggled. And then you can say, oh my gosh, one of the things that I love about EXP, if they're struggling, is we have this thing called the Fast Cap. And it's a program that somebody, innovative, and it's free. It's not it came from, what is the company? Is it KW or?
Yeah.
KW. Yeah, it came from the guy who used to be at KW, and he started our whole thing. And it used to be a paid thing at KW. Here at EXP, it's free if you join. There you go.
Mr. Sean Kokoska, right there. Yeah. No doubt. Yeah, he came over, I think, about 5 years ago and brought that. What's the name of that program?
Fast Cap.
Yeah, but when it was over at KW, one of you guys know it. What's the name of it? Anyway, I know he brought that over here and then elaborated on it. And now the whole Fast Cap is set up. And so, yeah, I think when you ask that question, Maria, I love you just connecting with someone, trying to get to know them. And what are you really trying to find out? What are their struggles? What are their challenges? And do we have a solution over here? And it could be as simple as just inviting them to a certain mastermind that might connect with what their struggle is, right? And or, you know what? God, I've got another agent that I work with. I think you would connect perfect with them. Sometimes it could be a three-way call, connecting with someone else, and you're not trying to sell EXP. You're trying to see if you can help solve something that might be going on in their business, and then inviting them to events or masterminds that we're doing is what a lot of agents do. That makes you feel comfortable, right? Because if you're truly trying to help them and give them something that they're struggling with, naturally, they may eventually, if you invite them to enough stuff and they start to meet people over here, eventually they might just want to be a part of this without you even asking. So a lot of that's just inviting people to events and solving their challenges.
Do you find that younger agents are more willing to move than older agents?
I was almost 60 when I joined. So I'm 63 now.
Only because, we're kind of set in our ways. I know it took Sean a long time to get me on board.
Yeah, a couple of years,
but he was a consistent follow-upper.
Yeah. So, I don't think, I look across the thing and I see that there's plenty of older agents, and I'm sure that they weren't here since 2010, or whenever it started. So I think we all, it doesn't matter whether they're young or old. I do think only like 10% of the agents really want to do agent attraction. I don't know if that's exact, but and so most of the people want to be in production. And so solving those production problems, I do have a resource that we got, Jesse got. I'll have to download it and send it to you, Sean, and then you can send it out if you want. But it was somebody, I can't even remember who it was, but they listed out, okay, if you only did 0 to 3 transactions, like you're talking to another agent, then you want them to be in Fast Cap. And then if certain, like everything has a different level of what to do to help them in production. So to solve the problem of those agents that are not as high. And I think when you're beginning it's a little bit easier to start with agents that have lower production. But I just as soon as Jesse said you need to go after these people, and that was within the second time we did an EXP Explained. And it was go after the teams and the brokers and the this. And I'm not that experienced, and I just did what he said. I did whatever anybody told me. I was nice and I was kind and I was following up, and I wasn't, it was like trying to solve their problems, but I was going after those agents. And I didn't I have Anna and Gregory, and they're the brokers, and they're probably my age or older. they came over. So it just really depends on if they see a problem in their life. You've got to identify those pain points for them, that it's a pain to continue to do what you're doing and not have the rev share and the stock and all the things.
Yeah, yeah.
If I
Agreed.
could add just one thing that you're talking about, GayLynn, kind of really going back a step where talking about the fast cap, one way, Maria, to open that conversation is just, hey, how'd your business, how was your business last year? What are you looking to do this year that's going to excel at, faster, more, if that's a goal of yours, and how I was taught to really talk about fast cap is, we've got a team of coaches that are going to coach you for 6 weeks, 3 times a week, to help you get into production to the level that you're wanting to get into. Would that be something that could be helpful for you in your business? And so it sounds a lot more appealing to agents versus just, we've got fast cap and this is what it is we've got a team of coaches that are going to help you for 6 weeks.
I love that, Kathy.
I didn't even know about this because it seems like, okay, you get on board and Sean and, Jeff, they're very helpful, but I don't even know what to ask because I don't know what's out there. There's just so much with EXP. I didn't know about the fast cap. I didn't know about the coaches.
Yeah.
And that's one and the same, what I was just talking about. It's just a different way of saying it. But, what did Sean, think back to what Sean started asking you back 2 years ago and the things he asked you as he followed up, right? And then what finally got you over the wall. Think about that. You're showing up on these calls and on our other calls. That's where you're going to just start learning and hearing some more scripts, if you will, to continue to help you in asking. But it's everything GayLynn's talking about. It's coming from connection, coming from curiosity, asking them about their business, asking them, what they're looking to achieve in their business. It's just those open-ended questions coming from curiosity. Because like she said, everybody wants to talk about themselves.
Yeah.
And I tell you, I want to add on to it because I think sometimes you think it's all about you doing all the work, but I really just got people on a 3-way call. I'd call them and I'd say, hey, after they saw the EXP explained, hey, I want to get you on a call with Jesse or with Alicia or with Krista or with, whoever, just depending on what kind of a problem they had. If they're building a team, it might be with Brett Conley, I just try to connect them. And we have people like, I have somebody that's in Washington that's not even in my, organization, and he'll do a 3-way call with me. And I do one with him, to help him just, help the agent have a different connection. If the personality is right, you got to match the personality with the 3-way call. And some people are really good. I'm going to guess Sean's really good about like laying back and pushing the accelerator on and laying back when he needs to, because you don't get to 1700 without doing that. And you can learn from him and just watch him.
He's very consistent.
Yes. Well, thank you guys both for that. But I want to mention also fast cap is something you can go through, Maria. It is intense. Everybody says that they go through it. I can't remember the numbers coming out the other end are amazing. How many people are under contract and so forth. Now there's also a fast attract where they're now, so the same thing, you got 2 different courses right now that you can go through either one of those. But kind of back to what you were just talking about, right? I always say facts tell, stories sell. As you're on these different Zooms and going to masterminds, identify some of these people who tell their story or what's going on or they're doing the training, and make yourself a list of 8, 10 agents and their stories, because those stories are going to connect with a certain agent you're talking to, and whatever their struggle is, you're going to go, oh my gosh, you remind me of another friend of mine who's an agent, had that same situation. Man, if I can, I'd love to just see if I could set up a call. I think they'd really be able to help you in your situation. You're connecting people through that 3-way call. I think that's a great way to kind of pull yourself out. Like you're not trying to sell someone. You truly are trying to solve whatever their challenge is. And it may bring in another agent in just from a different perspective that may help with that. But anyway, this is all really, really good stuff, you guys. Anybody else would like to ask GayLynn? Any other questions? Anything that could help you in your situation?
What are you finding is their predominant pain point, and how do you address it?
I don't know that there's a predominant one. I think the market has definitely shifted. And so I think sometimes we get that mindset of the limiting mindset, whatever it is, like there aren't deals out there and whatever, whatever the limit is, and that's what the problem is. And so really just getting them into, whatever can help them with their mindset to get into production. I think it really just depends. This person that, she's coming on today, it was like when she realized she had paid her brokerage $20,000 and she knew what the cap was at EXP. And there was no cap. She negotiated a 79 whatever 21 split with her brokerage, but there was no cap. And she's in California where the prices are outrageous. And I mean, in my opinion. And I came from California, so but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, and Shelby, she came on. She was the broker that was in Colorado, and she was doing all the work, and she was like co-brokering with another person. And they came over with 5 people, and she just was tired of being the one that did all the work, and like she wasn't able to do her own production as much. And so she came over and she texted me 1 week after she had been with EXP. She said, "GayLynn, today is the first day that I've been home with my family for dinner. And I love EXP." And that was like her, like, this is the best thing ever. Yeah, it takes a little bit of time to get everything done. She was able to use her Maverick team, group name. And so she, kept the signs pretty much the same, put the EXP on there, and she just loves it. So I think it's like everybody has a different pain point. And
Mhm.
and sometimes people will tell you something, but you got to keep digging to find out if that's really the pain point that is the most critical, because they don't want to really expose themselves and their
Yeah.
failures or whatever. And so, we all have failures. I mean, I have failed at the 3-way calls. I failed at, everything, but how do you get better? By doing it, you know?
Yep, no doubt. It is a repetition. Good,
Failing
good.
forward, like John Maxwell says. He's got a whole book about that.
Yeah, no doubt. There's so many good things that we can plug into. And like you said, Maria, to begin with, there's so much at EXP. That's where I think by just attending the masterminds, like Kathy said, being aware and being around a bunch of us, you'll continue to hear little things about Fast Cap, Fast Attract, or again, I'm back to just meeting other agents within EXP, understanding their story. And like you said to begin with, Galen, there's so many people that are willing to help do a 3-way call that aren't even in your group. And that's the other thing we always say about going to events. Meet other agents. You'll just connect with people at events that aren't in your group. You guys just hit it off, and all of a sudden you're kind of helping each other, right? On whatever issues you might be dealing with or challenges. Anybody else got any other question? We don't have to go to the top of the hour here, but anybody else something else for Galen?
I do. I have a question. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we got you clear. Go ahead.
So the fast cap is actually for production, but the fast attract is actually to attract agents. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how long have they had the fast attract program going on?
I'm going to say 3 to 6 months at tops, maybe. Sound about right? Kelly?
Maybe 9 months. I
Yeah,
don't
I'd
know.
say
Nine months?
6 to 9 months. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And I went through about 2/3 of it. I didn't hit every session. I just was getting busy and busy, but it's good. All different perspectives, different people that are big attractors come on and they give their perspective on how they built it, different ideas and so forth. So it's both those courses are phenomenal. You will definitely come out the end and start to get results. So yeah, you can look it up, Monica, if that's something you want to go through. I would also advise come to these Monday interviews like we're doing today. And then we always say if you start to attract or at least start to make calls, start to connect with agents, come on Thursday. And we got Kelly and Eric who are there to role play, to give you advice. You might come and go, had I connected with an agent? Here's kind of how the conversation went. Didn't quite go like I'd like to. What might you suggest? What could I have done different? Or I've now connected with them. I'm not quite sure what would be the next step or a follow up. That's what Thursday's about. Once you start to attract, come on Thursdays and we'll help kind of give you some relief on direction and answering questions and all that kind of good stuff. Okay. So both these
Okay.
are great.
I
Can
think
I
just-
say something?
I
Yeah,
just
please.
dropped in the chat Brett Gove's assets at exp.com. And if you click on that link, it gives you a ton of tools. It gives you it's the most phenomenal thing. Now, occasionally some of it isn't updated because it's got to be done manually and they do
Yeah.
something on the back end. But most of it, if you look at that is a great attraction tool because
Yep.
it gives you where everything is and it lines it out as to what the resources are. Sorry to interrupt. What else did you have,
You're good.
Monica?
Yeah. So I just wanted to say that I'm sorry. I'm looking for the hand so I can raise my hand. um, so we're starting one on Wednesday, Fast Cap. So there's one starting on the 4th, or yeah, it is the 4th. So I guess it's 6 weeks, and Monday and Wednesday there's a Zoom, and then there's lots of homework, I guess. So just to kind of fill you in, Maria, on some of that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and we have that screenshot, you guys, is on our website. For those who by chance, again, maybe on here, not been to our website, almost everything that exists in EXP is on freedomteamsupport.com. That particular screenshot, we even have a presentation from corporate that includes that screenshot. But yeah, that is an excellent one. If you're in dialogue and someone's very curious, that is a great one to bring up to them and or send to them. It has so much info in that screenshot that you just shot over. That asset, what does he got it under? Assets at
At
exp.com.
exp.com.
Yeah. Brent is a machine. And you talk about somebody who's helpful. He is extremely helpful if you can get squeezed into his schedule, but he loves to help people. Yeah, he's phenomenal.
One of
Wonderful.
the things that the Fast Track did this last season, I signed up. I just got busy. Sometimes it's hard. But they had at the end of every session, and they did talk for 45 minutes, and then on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they had 15 minutes that you were doing agent attraction, phone calls, or whatever they're telling you to do. So you're getting into action and not just learning.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Very, very good. Well, wonderful. We got about another 10 minutes if we want to keep her here. Does anybody have any other questions? This is all good, you guys. Anything else? Look,
I
you've
just
answered-
wanted to say that so the actually some friends of ours who were agents who have moved out of town, they um this is part of how we got into real estate is through them, and this is, I guess, for Maria, if this helps. But so we I had a we were talking this weekend, and I was just, it was more of a testimonial. Like, I love EXP. It's just natural. Like, it's just been life changing, and it often makes me emotional because of how much people reach out and the kind things that they say, the supportive things. So, it was some of that was in there, and, it's just attract, right? Like, so, but truly, it's been life changing. So it was more of a testimonial approach.
If you don't mind, Janet, elaborate on that a minute, because you've only been here 5 to 6 weeks, so both of you. What is it that's been so life-changing?
I think just seeing that people want to work together more, and they're like,
care,
or let's
and
create,
really care.
yeah, let's create more of a win-win rather than it, just kind of being about my thing. So just just positive attitudes and mindsets about like working together.
Yeah, you feel like people are invested, not just in you, but a team. There's a real momentum. And Kelly suggested that we get on every Freedom Team meeting. And I'm glad we are, because I feel like she said, we're getting to know people. There's little nuggets that we can take away. There's just so much to EXP that I think this is starting to just keep us grounded, because you can just fly off so many ways. But anyway, so yeah, I hope that helps.
Oh,
Thank
it does.
you.
And you guys said something that is so key. And I know Jeff has been driving this home. Everybody he brings on board, we're all trying to do the same thing. We'll always say for the first 30 days, try to attend Monday through Thursday. Just set that hour aside. And then at the end of 30 days, you'll decide which one of those you want to continue with and attend. Because, yes, once you get to know everybody and realize you got a family here who truly cares, and we're all here to help. So thank you for sharing that. That's awesome.
And another thing that we always think about attracting agents, But another group to try to attract is our coaches. I have some friends, and she worked at she was like the head salesperson at Switch, which I don't know if you know what Switch is, but it's a data. They house a bunch of data servers. It's enormous here. I mean, they're like, so there's so much AI being built. They just have built, they bought acres and acres and acres to expand. Anyway, she retired. Her husband's in the real estate coaching business, but he's not a realtor. And he just got cancer. And so I'm sure they're rethinking some of their life. And he's being treated, and things are going really, really well. But it's got to make them, and she's always been on my list of people to talk to and then to talk to him. I know him through her, but I actually knew him first before I knew her. So it's kind of funny. And so coaches, people that are in that real estate space that, they can get their license. They don't have to do, work full time, but agent attraction is completely different than selling real estate because it's solving different problems.
Yeah.
I have been considering, because I went with my husband to this meeting where this lady puts on, some kind of, meeting or to help people that have lost their jobs and transition. They're from the oil industry, because here in Houston, of course, we're really big on energy. And so then I attended a Christmas thing with my husband, and I thought, hey, you know what? Why don't I become a speaker at one of these meetings that she has and tell people that they can, become real estate agents as well, and I brought it up to her, and she said, yeah, like, why not? And I'll pay for their education, she said, because she has grants. And then, do you guys think that that's kind of like a good thing to do? Like, get people to become real estate agents and then, join EXP?
Before I answer, anybody want to answer? Kathy, you experienced veteran. What might you say to that?
That's not where I'd start. If that falls in your lap, then I would take advantage of it. But that's not where I would go try to create a list from to try to get them, licensed and into production, because you may or may not know the, success rate for realtors in general is, 1 out of or 2 out of 10 over, a 2-year period or so. And so to try to get them all the things they got to learn to get going in real estate. So, if at best, I'd start with some people that have, a year or two experience, even if they're just doing, 2, 3, 4 deals a year. Maybe start there if that makes you feel more comfortable, or somebody that's in alignment with what you do in production, and start there. So I wouldn't try to foster new ones, but if they fell in my lap, then maybe so. I may take those and get them set up with a mentor and all of that. But that's not where you're going to get your biggest results coming from interaction, for sure. So you're going to be doing a lot of extra work trying to help them get moving into production, learning, everything, versus if you get somebody that already at least knows real estate.
Yeah. Very, very just same thing I would say. If it falls in your lap, absolutely, Maria. Because where I thought you were going with is attraction is like a whole nother lane or business model where some people may just want to do that. When you look at some of the biggest people in right now in RevShare, matter of fact, my sponsor, Rob Flick, and then Gene Frederick, when you're talking about age, they both didn't get started till late 60s, early 70s. But why did they get started? They wanted the passive income. They were tired of just constant production, starting over every year, trading time for dollars, all that. So you just got to find out, again, what somebody's looking for in their life. Sometimes the veteran agents, they're the ones who see the rev share going, oh my gosh, there's a way out of real estate. I didn't know you could even retire from real estate. So yeah, it's just a matter of just kind of meeting them where they're at and asking questions. Anybody else want to ask something else of Miss GayLynn?
Or anything from the rest, you guys are all here as a team and collaboration. There's lots of wisdom. I've learned stuff just sitting here listening.
Yeah.
Well, wonderful. GayLynn, we are so excited for you. I am, because I know you're on a journey. You're at that halfway point for this thing really about to take off for you. So look forward to maybe following up in 3 to 6 months, kind of see where you're at, the organization growing. So congrats on your success. Would you like me
Thanks.
to send you over the recording here when we got it
I
wrapped
would
up?
love that. Thank you so much.
You bet. 'Cause you can cut that into some pieces, give it to your VA, use it for social media, whatever you would like. But we're again just thankful you came on today. Congrats on your success. Look forward to following your journey and I hope you have incredible success here in the rev share. You guys,
You
thank you. Go ahead. I'm
You've
sorry.
got this, you guys. You can do this. It is just all about mindset. And it's not about chasing different things. It's about whatever is in front of you. And you've got Sean and Kathy. I mean, there's so much collaboration here. I love it. Kelly's, I guess, killing it. And I'm just excited for your group. And I love EXP. I will never leave. I mean, once you start getting rev share, why would you leave? And once you have stock, why would you leave?
Thank you. Preach it, girl. Preach it. Completely feel the same way. Yeah, that is awesome. So you guys, thank you so much, everybody. Again, I always throw it back to you, Kathy. What is tomorrow's training on Tuesday? Who do we have coming on?
Nick Cram coming on for AI
That's
training.
right. The first Tuesday. If you have not, we all are obviously familiar with AI, but if you have not been on the first Tuesday of every month, Nick does only AI for real estate. And we are very fortunate. Comes on the first Tuesday of every month. And a lot of us paid to use his services back about 2 years ago. So he brings us this for free. Everybody else, for the most part, pays him like $7.97 or $9.97 a year to be a part of his group. He gives us everything he learns every month. And so if you haven't done that, great way to help accelerate your business, buy your time back, and let him teach you some of the tricks and trades so you're not chasing all the shiny objects. He helps kind of narrow down and focus on what do you really need for AI with real estate. So again, thank you for sharing that, Kathy. Thank you guys for all attending. GayLynn, as soon as I get the recording, I'll send it over. Everybody have an incredible, blessed day. Please let any of us know if we can help. Reach out to me.